The 1906 disaster was an opportunity for women's activism, and middle-class women, both in San Francisco, the Bay Area, and all around California, sprung into action and organized their own disaster relief. Now, women's clubs already existed before the disaster, and women didn't have the vote, but they were very active in their local cities and towns. But the disaster, with its huge need for over 400,000 San Franciscans, gave them experience working not only in the disaster zone, but with each other. And to me, it's not a surprise that in 1911, well before the 19th Amendment in 1920, the women in California got the vote. With so many people who lost their homes and businesses, the folks that had the hardest time recovering were those who had the fewest resources before the disaster. And the relief camps in San Francisco set up to help clothe and house and keep safe thousands of refugees who had no resources. They were filled mostly with working class and poor San Franciscans. And as disaster relief policy set the rules by which they could earn extra money to return to the city, what came to light was that working class and poor refugees, especially women, were the last in line for relief. And some people started to notice that this was unfair. And the best example of women who took action after the disaster is Mary Kelly. Before the disaster, Mary Kelly was like thousands of other women in San Francisco. She was an Irish working class woman with an invalid husband and children, working as a cleaning woman to make ends meet. She lost everything in the disaster. And as she struggled in the relief camps, what she noticed was the relief policy wasn't fair for people like her. And she started to raise this concern, not just for herself and her own family, but for everyone else. And she started a protest movement. She got women together to protest for relief flour and supplies, and then she thought bigger, and they organized a movement to take control of a $9.5 million relief fund so they could decide how refugees should use that money.
The Clayman Institute for Gender Research at Stanford University. Reinvigorating gender equality in the 21st century.